Yeah. So we've measured down, we figured out that we have 7.5 inches of space in our drawing area from top to bottom. We need 1.5 inches for the top view, 2.5 inches for the front view. It's right there, that dimension. We were left with 3.5 inches of space, so we divide that by 3 because we're going to have space above, in between, and below. So we just divided 3.5 by 3. It's roughly 1 inch. So we measured 1 inch down, 1 inch up, construction lines. Now we're going to go back and put in our construction lines for the 1.5 inch for the top view. Make a mark. And 2.5 inches for the front view. 2.5.
Then 2.5 for what?
That will be the height of the front view, right here. 2.5 inches is the height of the front view that's going to go right here on the paper. Remember, top, front, right side. Nice. We got those 4 lines, I hope. Alright, now we need to figure out how we're going to space right to left. So total amount of space we have is 10.5 inches. How much space do we need for this front view? 4 inches there. And then for the right side view, that will go here. The right side is 1.5 inches. Okay? So what are we left with? 10.5 minus 4 is 6.5. 6.5 minus 1 is 5.5. 5.5 minus 1/2 is 5 inches. Not the easiest thing to divide by 3, right? Let's see. Let's just try. Let's see. What's that? We're going to divide it by 3. So 5 inches is how much space we have left over. So we have about equal spacing here, in between the views, and on the right side. Basically room to put dimensions in. And so it looks nice and centered. Okay? So, yeah, 5.5 is not easy to divide by 3. How about 4.5? What's 4.5 divided by 3? 1.5? Alright, that's easier. So what we'll end up doing now is if we measure from the border line over 1.5 inches and the right side over 1.5 inches, we won't have 1.5 inches in the middle. We're going to have 2 inches. Perfect. We have a little extra in the middle. That's where we want it. So we have, because more dimensions go between views whenever possible. So from your border line, measuring over 1.5 inches one way and 1.5 inches the other way. Draw some construction lines, real light, 6H pencil if you got it, otherwise just very light force.
You said 1.5 inches?
Yep. I made a little break here just so it's no one's confused that there's an object here or something. There's 2 separate views, 3 separate views. All right, what's next? We need to know where these views are going, exactly how wide they are, how deep, how wide again. So the width of the part is 4 inches. Remember that. So from this line, we'll measure 4 inches over. Make a mark. And for the right side view, it's 1.5 inches. Make your mark. And draw a couple more construction lines. Just so it's not confusing, I'm going to erase some of these construction lines in between the views.
Mr. Webb, the one in the middle, how long is it?
The length of the line?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just extended it beyond the construction lines already had. So we've now boxed it in. We've got our top view is going to fit inside that box. The front view is going to fit inside there, and the right side view is going to fit inside there. Alright, we've got some curves. So I would start with the curves before drawing any object lines. So we've got a 1-inch radius curve and a 1 3/8 radius curve. Let's see, the 1-inch one, we could use a 2-inch circle template to get that one drawn, right? That's going to be on the front view, you'll see that. So if I find 2-inch, let me get the same circle template you guys have. Oh, do you guys have the 2-inch template? No. We might have to break out some compasses here. Do have some compasses if you want to measure 1 inch over. Then you can draw your curve. I also have a template that has 2 inches on it. If yours doesn't, I don't think most of yours do, but you could also use that to make the 1-inch curve. That might be my preference too, and that's going to be a dark object line, so you're going to use your 0.7 mechanical pencil to make that curve. Oh, let's see, 1 3/8 times 2 is 2 3/4, right? I don't have a 2 3/4, so I'm stuck using the compass. It's okay. So you can measure over 1 3/8. Make a mark. Get your compass. Put the point on the center of that curve. Put the lead on the mark that I made. Ooh, lead.
I'm missing that. What's the?
That is very light.
What's the measurement from the second to the third?
I don't love that lead.
Crystal lead.
How much on the middle?
Yeah. Like from the second one to the middle.
For spacing, I think I got something on my paper because it does not want to make a dark line. All right, which line are you talking about?
Like the one you just drew the circle on to the one to the right of it.
This spacing?
Yeah.
I have no idea. But, because we only measured 1.5 inches from the sides, so it's probably about 2 inches, but you don't have to worry about that, because this is, what you do is you measure for space, and then you measure exactly the size of the object. The spacing measurement are not that important. We just want to try to make them equal, roughly, but the object lines, this has to be exactly 4 inches, because this is the object that you're drawing. So make the spacing here exactly 4 inches. This has to be 1.5 inches, so make it exactly 1.5 inches. Same here at 1.5 inches. And the height is 2.5 inches. So that's how you get your other object lines. Okay? Then it's okay if I get a couple steps ahead of you here. I just want you to watch. Now, since I've got those curves, I can make the lines for the top view without even having to measure. Because I can just start on that curve, draw a line. Should go right to left so I don't drag my triangle over. Make a line there. From this line, I can use my T-square. Not used to this pencil. Kind of sits on the T-square different. And there's one more line. What other line do we need to add? The what? The smaller circle or the smaller curve, right? This line right here, we can't see. So what kind of line is that going to be? Hidden line, right? All right, use your sharpest number 2 pencil. Dash, 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 dash. Okay? Should look something like that. When you're all done, you can test it with my 3D printed arc jig and make sure everything looks right. You can see that the bottom line there, the hidden line is back there. You can't see from the right side if we're looking at it like this, but we need to include that hidden line. And I'll go back and just darken the lines in.
I would have traced that so bad.
I know, don't you? Why do you think I kept it in hiding until the last moment?
That's my fault.
All right. Kind of like to darken these in systematically so I don't forget anything. Or, ooh, I'm not loving this pencil here. I just bought like 100 of these. It's rubbing the T-square wrong. I just do all the horizontal lines at once, top to bottom, so I don't drag my T-square over the my lines that I've already made. Whoops, forgot one. Don't forget both views. Wipe off any loose graphite. Grab my triangle. Hopefully you've made your construction lines really light so you don't have to erase them. I'll probably have to erase mine to make it look okay. Ooh, I think there's like some bad drawing board right there. That's it. There's your art jig. Now we just have to dimension it. Don't forget your dimension lines are about 3/8 inch away. Let's see. This is where the lettering guide comes in pretty handy. Getting a little close. Too dark. This is a 4H. Got a little sharp spot on it. So it looks kind of dark. Just gonna try this pencil. Very light force. There we go. That works better. You see what I'm doing with the fractions there? I'm doing an 1/8 inch, and then I'm sliding this one of those holes in the middle, and I go above and below. Then I can get the fraction in there too. That's the only one I draw nice and dark. What is that? 1 3/8. Extension lines and dimension lines are thin and dark. There should be a visible gap in there. Kind of made my guidelines a little too dark, so my visible gap you can't really see. Use the eraser shield if need be. Who needs compass? I got compasses here. Large circle templates. If you need, come grab one. We'll have to share though. I only got like 4 or 5 handy. Here's one. That needs to be sharpened. Let's see. Missing some hardware. Who's new?